All right, well, I guess I get to be the one. First of all, I want to thank everybody for showing up. And I thought about writing something, but I was a little lazy about that. When it comes to writing, it's not my strong suit. So I figured that I would just speak from the heart. And this is definitely an affair of the heart. I need to go back a little bit and tell you a little bit about how it was. Just this neighborhood alone. This seems like to be the place that I fought to get out of, but it looks like God had other plans. I can remember a few incidents from right down the street when we used to live on North Avenue, and some of the violent images that come to my mind that happened against my mother, and I just think about North Sacramento in general, and about how I ran through people's lives in this area, and just how lost and just how addicted that I was. Parker Holmes was talked about. We lived over there. I remember one of the things that come to mind about this area was that during we'd go over to school. I'd go to El Paso Junior High over here. We used to run across the freeway to get to school every morning. That was rush hour traffic, and that was just some of the things that we did. Playing along these railroad tracks over here and on the base where we were never supposed to be, and just the things that I got caught up in and involved in and doing. But see, really kind of what I want to speak about, poverty a little bit, and about what Habitat for Humanity stands for, and about all the partners that Habitat has. And I want to speak about, about what was ingrained in me, kind of what some of the things that was modeled for me when I was growing up. Some of it is about generational dependence upon the system. Some of it's about, it was never spoken out loud, but you just learned to subsist. You just got by. That was all that life was really about, And there was a few role models, I believe, in my life, like my cousin Marty's Uncle Dennis, for one. He was his father, my uncle. He was one that was a very positive role model, but you know what? We didn't get enough exposure to him. And, we kind of got lost and kind of got swallowed up by the neighborhood. And it took a long time to get out of it. Some of the articles that's been in the paper talked about, living on the river and being homeless. And I'm not saying that wasn't the case, because that certainly was some places that we ended up. But it was also about shelters. It was also about abandoned buildings. It was also about living in cars. And it was also about couch surfing. It was just living wherever you could live and just trying to get by to the next day. And, very simple things that we take for granted. I can remember growing up as a kid when I hit the streets at 13, and I was very hungry a lot of times. Really hungry. And the biggest form of stability that I had in my life was the state prison system. Because I had a place to live, and I had something to eat. And you want to know something? Welcome, brother. And, and here's the saddest part about it, was that the happiest times of my life was when I was incarcerated. Isn't that something? Because I was so miserable within my addiction and how I was living out here. And I didn't know how to get out of it. And it was a process. And it was a process that happened gradually and over time. And it was a process that had the fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous written all over it. That's right. That's right. That's truly what this is all about. And this is about God reliance and about being God-centered and trying to deny self. part about this is about starting to realize through a stepsual process, a 12-stepsual process, and learning how to realize what my potential was. And then stepping outside of my comfort zones, getting in front of microphones such as this, doing uncomfortable things, and walking through my fears and getting to the other side of it. Starting to realize the potential that God had given me. And whenever I started to do that, whenever I finally started to realize that I am a worthwhile human being, I am about something, I can do something with my life. Doesn't matter how old I am, I was about 40 years old at the time, 41. But I started getting some gifts. I got a daughter, I got a wife, I got a son, and I didn't think that was for me. I literally was in that mindset, was that having a home and having a family, that was for somebody else. That wasn't for me. And like I said before, slowly that started to die. It started to fall away. And I started to believe. I started to have hope. The hope that we have in these anonymous programs. The hope. And then also, another funny thing that happened because of my journey through the 12 steps. The horns I believed I had on my forehead started to recede. They started to recede a little bit, and I was able to walk into a church on Marconi over here, Arcade Church, and I felt comfortable. Who would have thunk it? So, and I need to talk about, the habitat process. I want to tell you something. By the time I'd been seeing Curtis at meetings for a while, but by the time I talked to him, there was already this big change. I was already wearing a new pair of shades, and I was perceiving the world through different eyes. And it wasn't about if we were going to get into this program and get into a house and do this thing. It was just a matter of when. That's all it was about. Because I knew that there was something better on the other side, and I was going to strive for it until it happened. And look, I got a great partner to do this thing with, and it's just been incredible. This journey, this adventure, it's very, very difficult to put into words. Those self-messages that I told myself for so long, that you're beneath that, you're not a part of that, you don't deserve that, those are dying and almost completely dead. And that's really what it's about. That's really what it's about. I think I've said enough, and I think that we've all been out here in the sun long enough, but I was like, okay, well, how do I sum this thing up, right? And so I was recently in a coworker's office, and he had this cool thing on his desk, right? Or actually it was hanging on the wall. And it said, never let your memories be greater than your dreams. And I thought, that's it. That's it right there. And you know what? This thing is not over with yet. But you know what? There's some promises that have been promised. And I don't know where this thing is going to end, but I know that there's a safe and secure place that's not always about transition, where my family can be, and that we can find out where this journey ends at. And it looks like it's going to be right here in North Sacramento. Who would have thunk it? All right. I'm hungry. You're hungry, so let's eat.
So, there's one thing we haven't given as a gift this morning, and that's a set of keys. It's not those keys, that's my main keys. You don't want those, I tell you, okay? There's a set of keys here for your new home, and I'm going to ask you all to come forward and receive your key. Congratulations. And we have an official ribbon cutter here this morning. This is an old tradition. Okay. And so we're going to first, before we cut the ribbon, we need to get all our paparazzi up here with our cameras. I'm going to get out of the way. Okay. So all you photo takers, if you can come up here, if you want to get pictures, boy, I tell you, you got to get out of a mad rush here, All right. So we're all in place. Okay, we got the videos, we got the stills, we got the satellite shots. That's what that plane was. He's coming in for photo shots from the top. Okay, so we're going to count to 3. Oh, we're waiting for more pop. Oh, we got, okay, all right, got to get everybody in the play there. Okay, we're going to count 3. 1, 2, everybody together. 3. Very good. So welcome to your home. And the Susan family would love to have your children home and see it. And also with the smoking back is a big, great feed back there. I've already seen it. So come and join us for food and for fellowship. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here today.